The hustle was hustling. Do you hear me?
It was.
Oh my goodness.
It was.
But it's like when you do something that you one love or that you know is going to be beneficial for the rest of your, like, set you up for the rest of your life. It's like you're looking at it like, I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go. And
Right.
nothing is going to come between that. And when you're head focused like that, there's nowhere that you can't go in regards to what you decide to do once you make up your mind. We have 5 new scents that I will be announcing. The number one scent that I absolutely love is Red Stiletto.
Hello, and welcome to Cisse's Collab Space. I am your host, Amy Cisse, and today we are joined by Shanell Copeland. She is the founder of Camtenae Creations. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, first and foremost, please give us a description of your business.
So I started Camtenae about creations about 2.5 years ago. I was struggling, my son and I, with dry skin. So I decided to make something natural that would be beneficial with his eczema. And then I just turned my kitchen into a lab, actually, and started doing a lot of research on types of butters and came up with the formula that I absolutely love now. And I've decided to add different types of scents to market men and women. And then I've expanded to butters. So ideally, it's just a line of skincare products that help with eczema, that help with just keeping your skin soft and making you feel beautiful with the scents that I create. And I just love what I do. So
And I am a testament to that because the products are absolutely amazing,
thank
smell
you.
wonderful. They are amazing products.
Thank you.
So what? So aside from just going to the store and just buying some products, what inspired you to start this company?
Dry skin. And we were in the middle of a pandemic. So just going to the store wasn't really an option. And I wanted to play around with butters that were natural, that had benefits, that didn't have a lot of chemicals in it. And I just enjoy doing things with my hands. So it started with that. I initially started with shea butter, and for my skin personally, shea butter alone doesn't work as well. So I started to add other butters in to uh, bring about a little bit more moisture because that's what I needed for my skin. And then once I got a good formula going with the consistency and the attributes that were for dry skin, aloe for sunscreen, oils that soak in and keep the moisture in, was my main goal for starting this business. It just basically started as something that I enjoy doing, and then I said, maybe other people can benefit from this, and that's where it started.
And I hear that people can develop eczema over time.
Mhm.
Your skin changes. I
Yes,
think I learned maybe it was only a few years ago that you actually should use sunscreen on a regular basis.
absolutely. Absolutely. I am a fan of sunscreen. I've been using sunscreen since I was in my 20s. Definitely a fan. I believe that we're under the misconception as Black women and Black people that we don't need it, but we definitely do. So I am definitely a fan of sunscreen, and that's why I try to incorporate a natural sunscreen, which is aloe vera gel, in my products, so that the butters that you would normally use on your skin can also protect you from the sun. The men's line, I don't put a lot of fragrances in there. So if a woman wanted to use that on her face, she could, because it has all essential oils in that as well. Um, so yeah, sunscreen, very important.
Every day, all the time.
Oh,
So, can you share an example of a time in your business where you maybe had to pivot the business strategy, and how did you make that decision?
yes. So I'm not very good at marketing. A lot of my business has come from word of mouth. I gave out a lot of samples, in the beginning, just to get people familiar with the product. And during a time when I kind of didn't have enough time to focus on making the product and coming up with different scents, I paused and I reevaluated what the purpose of me doing this was for. And then just kind of reeling in the products that I sold, because I initially started with candles, and I figured that, it was so much trial and error with that. I figured that I would just start and continue with something that I could build upon, instead of creating new things every week to try. I wanted to kind of narrow down what I really wanted to focus on, and it was the butters. And then once I got that down, then I started to venture off into the soaps and the lip balms. But I definitely took a break for about 6 months to almost a year, just to kind of reevaluate what I really wanted to do with this business and how I wanted it to grow and move forward. So yes, I think once I made a decision that I was going to focus more on the butters, I was able to reel into that, and the strategy around that just became clearer to me. And I think the break really helped me to reevaluate that I did love doing this. It wasn't a chore for me, or it wasn't, like an extra job or anything. So once I decided that this was something that I wanted to do, second go round, I just was more focused, and I went full force. And that's where I am today. And hoping that, with that passion and with that love behind the product, that I can get it out to more people. This is very new to me, being in front of the camera. So I'm hoping that people will see a face with the brand and associate that with authenticity and, natural products that will help enrich their lives. That's, my main goal. And I want people to understand the love that is behind these products that I make. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. I think you said something that was really, really profound, right? It's doing something that you love, but then kind of feeling like I need to go in a different direction. Because sometimes there's two things that could happen. You could either decide to stop doing what you're doing because you feel like I'm missing something or
Mhm.
something's off and you can't pinpoint what it is.
Right.
Or sometimes you're just heading down the same road and you know you're not supposed to be going down that road
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
you're not really feeling it.
Mhm.
And I think it's so valuable to kind of shift your focus
Mhm.
because then it gives you that extra energy, that
Mhm.
spark
It
that
does.
you once had, right? It
Mhm.
reinvigorates you to keep
Yes.
going and to now you have a different way of thinking about things.
Mhm.
And I think that that is just so important in life. And it's really about being flexible. And
Yes.
it's about just change is inevitable and just
Mhm.
embracing it.
And being able
And
to
yes,
pivot in that, you know,
yes,
and then just, hey, this isn't working. Let me figure out what it is that I can do that may work better. And just not being afraid to try something different, I think is very important in any business or life, because things don't always go the way you expect. You got to be able to pivot quickly and readjust. And I think that's very important when you're making things, just trying to live out your life and be the best version of yourself. Like, everything is not always going to be perfect. So yeah.
so I have a similar story, but
Mhm.
different. You have a product business. I have a service-based business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting where I was in the space of working in the tech industry for so many years, working at so many different jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I needed to make a change,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And when you are working different jobs, you think, well, let me just get another job.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was interviewing for an entire year. And I was like, that's not it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not it.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to say to myself, maybe you should be going down a different path
Yeah.
because this is clearly not working out for a reason.
Right.
And then I decided maybe I should look into becoming a consultant. I had
Mm-hmm.
no clue what that looked like at all,
Trial and
right?
error.
Trial and error. And fast forward 10 years later, I still am an owner of a tech consulting
Awesome.
company.
That is so
And I couldn't be happier with that
mm-hmm.
pivotal moment in my life where I decided to do something different.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
And you
now I
weren't
have,
afraid. You knew it was going to be a challenge, but you were not afraid to step out on faith, essentially, because no one knows what's going to happen when you take that leap. It's you just have to do it because, like you said, this isn't working.
right.
So, what does something else look like? So, that's amazing.
You know what? So I thought of another story where I wasn't scared, but my dad was scared when I was in college.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I decided my junior year to change my major. He was like, "What are you
What are
doing?
you
You
doing?
can't just change your major." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of can."
Yeah, I
And if
can.
I need to, and if I need to take another semester
Hmm.
to make up for these extra classes that
Hmm.
now I need to fulfill a whole new requirement.
Hmm.
And yes, I worked like crazy.
Yes.
I remember that last semester. So I graduated, of course, the following year.
Hmm.
And I remember that last semester, I would get up at 5 a.m. I would go to work in Rockville and at NIH at 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. I would go drive down to Trinity, which was Trinity College back in the day,
Hmm.
to go to class from 3 o'clock to I think it was like 4:30 or something. And then I would drive to Marymount University in Virginia to take a class from 6, I think it was to 10 p.m. or something. Get
Wow.
home at 11 o'clock and do it all over again.
The hustle was hustling. Do you hear
It
me?
was.
Oh my goodness.
It was.
But it's like when you do something that you one love or that you know is going to be beneficial for the rest of your like set you up for the rest of your life. It's like in that moment, you don't look at it like, oh, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and not getting home till 11. You're looking at it like, I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go. And
Right.
nothing is going to come between that. And when your head focused like that, there's nowhere that you can't go in regards to what you decide to do once you make up your mind. That is amazing. Like, I think about getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm like, oh no, please, Lord, don't let me be in that situation. But if I had to do it, I would. I mean, maybe not early in the morning, but I'll definitely stay up late at night to get stuff done, you know?
Right. Right. And
Yikes.
so, but it's interesting, right? So people work more productively at different times of the day.
Yes.
I will get so much work done early in the day.
Hmm.
And it sounds like you're more of a night owl where you could just stay up and get stuff done.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't sleep till 12 o'clock. I get up at a decent time, 7, 8. I think it's decent. More people are probably at work on their second cup of coffee by then. But I will stay up until 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock sometimes, and then still get back up at 7 or 8. So I think it kind of balances out in a way where, okay, yes, I don't get up at the crack of dawn, but I still get done. I still get done what I need to get done. And I think I'm not an early morning person. I can't even function right. that early in the morning. You gonna get so much minimal. The minimum part of Shanell is what you're gonna get at 5 a.m. I'm just saying. Maybe because I went to bed at 2.
Maybe so. And I'm in bed at 9, 10 o'clock, 10, 11. Yeah, so I
Ugh,
get it.
I wish. I envy those people who could go to bed at a decent time. My brain will not turn off at that moment. It runs until about 1. And then it's like, okay,
Right.
Shanell, you can't do nothing more than what you've already done. Just call it a night. So
Just let it go.
let it go.
Right. So, how do you stay motivated and focused on your goals, especially when, say, for example, like a tough time comes up?
That's a really good question. I think it depends. Ultimately, it's the mindset, right? I mean, you, how determined are you to get to your goal? Um, and how clear and concise are you with what that goal looks like? So some people can set a goal for 5 years from now, a year from now, and take the time to, achieve those. I have to do my goals in smaller doses because I need to see a more instant gratification. So if I set a goal for 30 days within this month, I want to be able to, you know, make a certain amount of products or sell a certain amount of products. Um, that's easier. It's more obtainable for me. And in the tough times, it's like I just have to remember why I wanted to do this, right? And it's not for me about the financial gain because it's something that I love to do. So if I would do it for free, if I could do it for free, which for a while I was, because I just wanted people to understand the love that I had for these products. So I was giving stuff away basically. Um and I was okay with that because it's something that I enjoy doing. But then it's like, okay, you're taking your time, you're making these products, you have to buy the material. Be realistic here. This is a business, right? But I think in the tough times I really just realized that this is like a, I don't want to say safe space, but like a sanctuary. It's like soothing. It's therapy for me. Sometimes when, regular work is stressful, I'll come down here and I'll just start mixing stuff, or I'll just start, you know, thinking about scents that I could come up with. So it kind of is my safe haven, for lack of better words. So I can't really equate tough times because I enjoy doing it. And I don't know. I just sometimes I pause because it can sometimes be overwhelming. Just, the manual part of making the product, but it's never like a tough time where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I may take breaks because other things take priority, but um, yeah, I just enjoy it. I don't know what other way to say it. So,
I like the small goal setting
mhm.
because it just feels more achievable and you
Yeah.
can kind of see it a bit more clear versus something that's so far fetched and so
Hmm.
down the road or something that's so big
Yes,
where you're trying to figure out, well, where do I even start?
exactly.
Um, so I like that a lot. That's actually really good perspective. Is just
Yeah.
start small,
Start
small
small.
goals, achieve
Yes.
something, do something,
Do do something.
get something done.
Something. Because for me, I know me, and I think it's about knowing yourself as well. Like, I'm not a planner in that
Mm,
regard. So if I set a goal for a year from now, I'm not even going to look at that goal until 9 months, maybe 10. You know what I'm saying? So if I can say, Shanell, you're going to get this done in the next week. And even for me, I'll do weekly goals. It's like, okay, by the end of this week, I want to have this done, this done, this done, whatever that looks like. Even if it's not just for the business, just my life things that I need to take care of. A week, I can obtain that. Like that's manageable for me. Um, and it, it's about knowing yourself and knowing what you can and cannot handle and what you can put on your plate. I just, yeah, it may be a little bit remedial, but I gotta do small things because I get distracted and I know myself.
So is that how you handle personal and the business? Any perspectives, additional perspectives on that? Like, how do you find balance?
So yes, I definitely write out what I want to or need to do in a week's time. I write that out. And I use my phone for reminders to say, Chanel, you have to accommodate this for, like, if my child has to do something, I'll put that on. And then I'll work my other stuff around that. And I think that's why I work later, because like during the day I'm focused on work and stuff that I need to do as far as like doctor's appointments, personal things like that. And then the business kind of takes off in the evening time.
Mm.
I'll make products. I'll spend like a whole day making a certain product. Like one day I'll do butters, or one day I'll do a batch of lip balms, or soaps don't take me that long, so I can do those in a couple of hours. To me, it's just more so about setting the time frame and working around a schedule. No, not so rigid that it has to be done between 5 and 7, but just on a certain day, I'll say this is what I need to get done. And I just try to do that. And then if I don't get everything done that day, I don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace, and then just move it on to the next day. I think prioritizing what's more important is easier, because for me, anything that's centered around my child is going to be first. And then after that, it comes work. And then after that, it comes the other things that I need to take care of, whether it's business wise or, personal stuff. So for me, that's just work. That's just what works. But I just want to keep in mind for people that are, trying to do multiple things at a time. It's important to prioritize. Yes, that's very important. But I also think that you should not allow things to get in the way of what it is that you really want to do. Don't make excuses, because you can start in small doses. No one says you have to go big or go home all the time, right? So start with what works for you, small doses. Maybe you just do this one thing in a week, right? But do something, move forward. Like, if this is something that you love or that you really want to do, you cannot continue to make excuses for it. And I just feel like once you stop doing that, you can actually see growth, you can see movement, you can see, your goals being met. And I'm just a firm believer in, yes, you can be a procrastinator in life in general, but not with everything. Like, some things are not so um on fire that you have to do it at that moment. I think sometimes we just need to stop and think about what the priority is, um, and handle it accordingly.
Yes, I 100% agree. I think that, there's so many things that happen in life,
Hmm.
and I agree, there can be a ton of distractions.
Yes.
And I think it's about managing your time
Hmm.
in some ways, because you're actually like where you have kids, you have work, you have all these things that you have to do.
Hmm.
I was watching TV and downloading text documents,
Ooh.
right? And
Multitasking.
it multitask, right? It might not always work, out that well. Like maybe I don't hear all the parts of the show,
Right.
and that's okay, right? At least I'm
Hmm.
still being productive, and I might
Hmm.
even like there was a point in time when I used to work 12, 15, 16 hours a day, and then I had to get to a point of okay, so you can be a workaholic because you have to actually get some rest.
Yes.
So I actually have more of like a schedule now of the hours that I will work. I
Hmm.
carve in time for hours that it's just straight up downtime for
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
and I need to like mentally decompress so that
Yes.
I can go to sleep at night,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then now, instead of working 7 days a week, I might take one day on the weekends to actually get some work done for a
Mhm.
few hours so
Mhm.
that I feel like I'm accomplishing something versus I get into, the Monday through Friday grind and wait,
Yes.
now I have all these things on my plate that I need to do that I didn't get a chance to do because I'm stuck in meetings all day.
Right. Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
it's it's not always easy, but it's doable and it's
Mhm.
achievable.
Mhm.
And it's like you said, if you really want something, you just have to just get it done
Yes.
and not make any excuses about it. Just get it
Yeah.
done.
Get it done. I was and you and I had this conversation before. I I don't like being on in front of the camera. That's not my thing. Definitely behind the scenes kind of girl, and I will get it done for you behind the scenes. But then I realized just recently that I am my brand, right? And so if I am going to fit anything in, it's going to be making things different to for in order to enhance the business, because like you just said, what's important to you, right? um and you just have to find the time and just do it. And I think that that's ringing very present in my ear because we just had a conversation about it last weekend, and I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. We're doing this. Oh, the train is gone. Like, Shanell, hello, you gotta catch up here. It's moving. um so yeah, I appreciate this opportunity to be a part of the show and us to communicate about, just life and our businesses. And this is really good, and it's helping me kind of get out of my comfort zone, because that's where you can get stuck as well. So um this is an example of just doing it, and here we are. So
I literally just told my 15-year-old, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yes, yes,
And if there's something that you're thinking it to yourself, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can.
you can
Figure it
do it.
out and just do it. Just like in the technology industry, right? Just push the button and see what happens.
Ex- exactly. And then either it's going to do what it's supposed to do, or you're going to have to go back and figure out why it didn't. And it's just what it is. It's always a troubleshooting skill, whether it's in the tech industry, any other business, or just life. Like, if it doesn't work, how do you fix it?
And
That's
move
it.
on and keep it
And move
going.
on. Hmm.
Has there been an experience in your business that you didn't expect or you wish someone would have told you before you got started? That sigh was a heavy sigh.
Yes, it was. I wish someone had told me the amount of things I would need for the business. I think someone should have told me to come up more with a strategy versus just following my heart and just doing it. Like, I just started making stuff and I was like, oh, well, how am I going to sell this? How am I going to build up the website? How am I going to add the products? How am I going to market this? Like, no one really told me that in the beginning. Um, and I had to just kind of figure it out. And I'm honestly still just kind of figuring it out. Um, Nobody really told me about how taxes work for the business. Just what you can and cannot write off, and how much stuff again I would need. Nobody just told me any of this. Um, and no one told me that I had to be on social media as much in order to advertise the business. Like, I see people on there, but I just thought they did it because that's what they wanted. Like, that's what they liked. And I'm not
Mm,
a social media person in that regard. So it's like, I had no idea. If someone had told me in the beginning, I probably would have, been a little bit more open and outward with it. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm learning and moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. This year is going to be it. I'm going to get it right this year and on and beyond. I'm going to get it right.
And
But
you're definitely gonna
even if I
try.
don't, I'm going to
Mhm.
keep moving. I'm
Yes.
moving forward here. So, yes. Yes. But yeah, there's a few things that I just had to figure out on my own. It was a lot of trial and error. You were there. Just products that just didn't do what they were supposed to do. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is so great. I love doing this, but why it don't work? So, so it was a lot of that. But I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it now. I'm moving forward with it. Let's just say that. So I'm not going to ever make candles again. I know that.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I did learn. That right there was very challenging for me trying to figure that out. It just I couldn't get it.
Yeah. What was it about the candles in particular that
It
was just so?
was I could not figure out the wick situation based on the size of the candle, based on the amount of fragrance, based on you know, the temperature and when to pour, the hot, the cold. Um, it was I just couldn't figure out the mix. And so I had to move on.
Yeah. And you know, I love the smell of the candles. So the candles were just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So of
Sorry it
course
couldn't work out.
it broke my heart just a little
I
bit,
know.
but I got past it. But I
Yes.
love everything else. Love the butters. You want to talk a little bit about your newest creation,
So yes, the scents.
or is this going to be on your website that you're going to announce soon? I don't want to spoil it if that's the
Yes.
case.
So
So
I will say, thank you for the plug. I will say that we just had a amazing fragrance party. And the idea behind the fragrance party was just to come up with different scents for the business, whether it was a soap or butter or lip balm. We sampled different fragrances because I have 1,000, it feels like, of different scents that I kind of, mix and match with, which it just warms my heart to know that I am a chemist and not by educational train, but just I feel like I have a gift for putting scents together and creating um, you know, custom custom fragrances. I don't know how or when, but I do. And that's what this fragrance party was about. So yes, we have 5 new scents that I will be announcing. Haven't decided which one yet, but I will be announcing a new scent in April. I'm going to put that on the website. I just want to make sure I have enough products because when it launches, I want to be able to supply the demand. Okay. So, yes, in April, we have the 5 scents, but the number one scent that I absolutely love is Red Stiletto. I'm very proud of that scent. Um, and I also have Island Mist. We have Citrus Sunrise. Yes. So Citrus Sunrise is going to be a butter and a lip balm. Oh, you got it.
so
So it's going to be a butter and a lip balm. I have found the essential oil for the peach. So I can put that in a lip balm. And just for those of you who don't know, lip balm should always have an essential oil in it because fragrance oils have a little bit more alcohol than essential oils, and it doesn't necessarily mesh well with your skin without a carrier. So since you're putting it on your lips, anything that could possibly be ingestible needs to be essential. And so I found a peach essential oil. And so that's what's going to go into the Citrus Sunrise lip balm. And I will be sampling those very soon. So I can get feedback on that. Amy will definitely be a sampler. Thank you very much for your
Absolutely.
service.
Yes.
And so yes, we will announce. I think I'm gonna bring out the Citrus Sunrise in May, um, just so I can make a month of one feature scent, so that I can post that on the website, on my socials, and that's gonna kick off in April, early April. Yes, we will be announcing the red stiletto with a clear description that I think everyone is going to absolutely love. Um, I'm excited about it. So yes, thank you. Hmm.
So we'll see what's going to be my new favorite scent because I had several scents that I love that were my favorite. And I feel like, it's getting hard for me to figure out which one is my favorite now because you keep coming up with new scents. And
Yay.
I'm confused now. I don't know which one is my favorite anymore.
Well, the good thing is you have favorites and it's in abundance. So
Yes,
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
yes.
And I love that you speak so highly of the products. You're spreading the word, and this is just so amazing. I didn't realize I would be this excited about something that seems so simplistic, but I am. And I'm just trying to get the word out and trying to describe it in a way where people can actually feel, because you can't really smell it when you're purchasing it online. So I want to be able to describe it in a way where people are like, oh, I can relate, and it takes them back to, the words that are being described. So I'm excited about it, and obviously I can't stop smiling, but I am really looking forward to what this new branch of Camtenae Creations is going to bring. I'm just looking forward to, whatever is in store. So
Well, thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast.
thank
I
you.
am hoping everyone feels the love from your products as well. How can the audience get in contact with you?
So I am on Instagram at Camtenae. All of my handles are Camtenae Creations. On X, it's just Camtenae. And on my website at camtenaecreations.com. And I'll also be launching a YouTube channel soon from Camtenae Creations. So I'll keep everyone posted as well. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to share my passion.
Thank you, Chanel. Thank you for joining us today.